Right, welcome back. Last time we, grabbed a few provinces off of Saxony. And, well, that's pretty much about it as far as activity goes, though passively we've got a lot more progress done with industrialization. Though it's going to take some time for the institution to spread further. However, cash is not going to be a problem. What does 26 ducats a month sound to you? Although I did also make another decision, specifically in order to... Well, I had trouble with the war with Saxony. I often had I basically was surrounded by enemy troops. And even then, there was no way to get a port... Well, it was easy for them to just walk past. Because I only had one army. Sure, whatever it fought was, well, melted away, but I only had one army. And I do have the force limit for, a duplicate. Since 28 is less than half of 57. Since 28 times 2 is 56. So, assuming I don't get too many casualties, I should be able to sustain a second army without any issues. Though my army maintenance will double, that's also not that big of a deal because my realm expenses will decrease because actually recruited troops don't cost that much more. Since you're still training the reserves. But yeah, it's actually pretty important to get industrialization soon because it's increasing all tech costs by 70% now. Yeah. Plus it will boost reinforce speed and ship repair, which isn't that important, but it's still helpful. Although I don't think it's going to be able to get to another province in time, except for maybe Fion. Okay, yeah, probably Fion and possibly Fresco? Nordfresken? Probably not. Oh, and if my voice sounds a bit different, it's because I'm recording in a different room now. So the acoustics probably sound different if you can even pick it up on the microphone. I'm certainly hearing my voice echo through the headphones, that's for sure. Anyway, let's get back to it. So, how's my income now? Lower, but that might have to do with other factors. Of course, I do believe race troops are still somewhat more expensive, but... yeah, might be something else. Could be new manpower coming in, or whatnot. As well. But provincial corruption is slowly going down. Not by much, but it's still there. Okay, so that split off expires tomorrow. There we go. Right. Do I want to promote the aristocratic faction? Actually, not really. Since my state reach is about to go over to 80%. 2 years, okay. Question is, do I have enough influence? No, not on its own, so... But most of these reforms would lower elite loyalty in the process. Of course, as I reduce provincial corruption, things will get better. Universal law I can do later. So I do kind of need it. So universal law and rational divisions would allow me to get this improved taxation. Or rational taxation. The highest rank of that. However, it doesn't affect corruption in any way, and I kind of want to focus on getting that first. Once I remove all law sources of corruption, then it won't be... well, it'll be... so that state reach no longer has an effect on corruption, so I can raise it as high as I want without any negative side effects. In fact, I do believe that maximizing the bureaucratic laws would actually make it so that laws will have a negative impact on corruption, reducing it. well, provincial corruption anyway, so it actually reduces it as I increase state reach, which would be amazing. Suddenly state corruption is increasing. This calls provincial corruption reduction to dramatically slow down. But first, show devotion. Although then again, if there's anyone that really needs loyalty, it would be the clergy. So, yeah. Promote the bureaucratic faction. This will increase provincial corruption, but it's not that big of a deal. Oh, that might cause problems. Great, that increases the resting point for corruption. State corruption by 1. Oh well, that can be handled later. Did I ever start drilling the second army? Yes. No. Why is this the new one higher up on the army list? I don't like that. Ah, Scandinavia is ready for a rivalry again? They only have 27k troops. Yeah, I probably should turn on the Great Dole again. It seems rather necessary. I don't actually need to do a property transfer though, in order to take advantage of the stability points, because we've hit 80 state reach, so everything except for depoliticizing the civil service is available now as a reform option. The last one, because I need 50 bureaucratic influence, which is ridiculously high, and it also needs 60 executive authority, which I don't have, because I need at least... I need an 11 total sum of post-executive, of executive power. I need 11 total. That's after the institutional authority does its thing, which for right now is only 10 total, so that's not enough. Which is annoying. Right, the question is which ones would be best to do? Reforming bureaucratic hierarchies actually does not affect loyalties of the various factions. Probably should do something that's going to get me a lot of boosts on reducing provincial corruption, because that's my main target right now. I want to minimize those issues. On the other hand, I could go for provincial reform in order to further boost state reach gain, and also reduce administration costs. On the other hand, if I go to look at the administration costs, well, the various costs, wages are actually now my biggest expense. Wow. So on the other hand, that's probably because half of my army is out on the field now. Or more than half, actually. Yeah. I have 56k on the field. And there's 53k in the reserves, so it's probably why realm expenses are so low compared to everything else. If it weren't for that. If I didn't have my army out, that 13 per month, most of that would be spent inside the realm expenses instead. So probably a 25% increase of realm expenses at the minimum. And manpower is still very close to wage costs, so it might be a good idea to do that instead. But I really would like to go ahead and focus on reducing provincial corruption as much as possible, because, now, first off, it would reduce the impact of all these reforms even quicker than it otherwise would, and lowering the resting point means I would get much more tax money, so I could afford a larger army, among other things like improving the economy even further. So, definitely doing this. While it does increase administration costs, it does lower global autonomy, which will eventually be good. The question is it good for embracing the institution? Not really, but it lowers both corruption sources. It reduces both corruption types, so causes some stability and both kinds of corruption to temporarily. And the question is, what else? Reducing elite power from autonomy sounds good. However, I don't have much autonomy in general. Average non-overseas autonomy is 23%. So, average not Iceland autonomy. I keep forgetting that I conquered Iceland at one point, just because. This one actually has worse effects than this one, or at least worse changes. However, this one costs more in general. It actually costs stability, it costs a bit more state corruption, but instead of just 10 elite loyalty, it's 25. Which will cause corruption to go up as well, provincial corruption anyway, because the less the elites like me, the more they're going to bother me in such a manner. Or I could just do provincial reform, which will boost state reach gain or reduce administration costs. Or I could get this reduction of elite power from autonomy. Or I could also boost wages. That's what I don't want to touch yet, though. Not without reducing administrative costs. First. Of course, that's something that I'm going to have to eventually handle because as state reach increases, that thing's impact increases further. So... yeah, let's do the expand oversight powers. Officials. There. That's going to cause severe havoc for my stability, though, in the short term. The really short term. With the Grindel, my stat points just go up and up. This is it without the Grindel at maximum stability. So this is going to go really fast, because we just dropped a bunch of stability. And the Grindel, especially at maximum distribution, well, that's a minus 30% stability increase interval, which is a lot. So I can make lots of rapid improvements. Okay, so I can move an army over to Royce, and that will no longer be an issue. Excellent. The short trip, so I can get those Münchener separatists on the way. Saxoner separatists. Saxon separatists may become a problem later on, but what are you a problem? Airfoot? Really? Yeah, that's not really an issue. Not really. Once that stuff stabilizes, it shouldn't be a problem. Today's don't want to help. Well, that's not a big deal in the first place. The Pippin would actually be a bad idea. Just have to be careful of Bayern München. Bohemia isn't a threat, usually not really. Magdeburg is a one-province minor. I could use the nationalism capability in order to take Mazurin as well. Probably should at some point. I would need an imperialism capability for these three provinces. And eventually this one as well, but that's a later problem. Oh, Leipzig has it. Okay, excellent. I probably should embrace it now. I believe autonomy is going to start dropping dramatically. So, yeah. 1,114 ducats. And that's the last institution. That's all of them. Well, that suddenly increased. It doesn't look like 17 from here. Oh wait, never mind. That alcohol excess is 6. Okay. Right. 1761 again. Do I want to focus on getting more reforms, or do I want to try and get the elites back on my side? Probably should do the latter. Oh wait, I have to wait until the 5th. There we go. When is it? Oh. Okay, great, no expired. Time. That again. My stat points are maxed out, so do a bit of land redistribution. Not much, of course. But okay. There we go. Right. So, since I finally reached 80 state reach, I decided to go ahead and do a couple reforms. Don't quite remember which ones. I think it was, yeah, the bureaucratic hierarchy. Don't remember the other one. I think it was institutional oversight. Yeah. Yeah, it was institutional oversight. Okay. Excellent. Also teched up and grabbed industrialization. It's still going to take its sweet time spreading, but I don't really need it. Because provincial effects only occur up to Colombian imports. Anything beyond that doesn't have these provincial effects, but that may be implemented in the future. I would not be surprised if this sort of thing happened for industrialization, for example, boosting, well, heavily boosting urban output. I have declared war on Lippe. Probably could do a quick peace deal. Yeah, okay, good. Oh, they've decided that they're utterly defeated. Yeah, they've done that. Okay. Nothing else I can really do other than say, hey, give this back to the Commonwealth, but I'm not doing that. I am not doing that. Why would I give it back to the Commonwealth? They're under revolutionary Spain, which is my new rival. Okay. Go, just get Kornzun. I gave Lippe to Ravensburg because I wanted to use Diplo points for coring for a little bit. I've also been working towards getting these two little states. Diplomatic stuff, basically. Yeah. Oh, and I probably should do that, yes. I also wanted to do some anti-corruption reform once the war was over, because, well, it's not like I'm gonna need admin efficiency for a while. So, this will dramatically reduce provincial corruption. So that will help get back to that approximately 30% that was around the resting point previously. Additionally, rapidly reducing provincial corruption will also make it so that state corruption will drop too, well, even more quickly. As the resting point will go down as well, because that state corruption statistic that's based on, well, the average provincial corruption of the country. Yeah, they affect each other, which makes things, well, it's a feedback loop, but it's a rather weak one, to be honest. Probably should look towards... Oh, there's not much I can do about that one, but some of the other small ones. This one. Okay. Such a... Hopefully next session I remember to get them drilling again. That is helpful, drilling them. Yeah, so diplomatically, apparently I had close Bohemia, and then Scandinavia joined over. Well, actually, Scandinavia rivaled me, and then they lost it very quickly. Not entirely sure what happened. So now I'm rival to revolutionary Spain, who has 5 different rivals, and for good reason. In fact, reward for the quantity of Bohemian cores I control. I'm certain they'd be much more willing to parley with me, but certainly have conquered a lot from them. Oh, well, the latest war didn't provide much aggressive expansion. So I should have it gone in about 10 years or so. All of it, even among the most Okay, except for Saxony. Saxony does not like me whatsoever, but that's because they were the main target of my latest big, uh, well, invasion. After that, I can probably go up against Bentheim, and it should be easy to conquer, well, practically all of their provinces at once. Except the small ones. Okay, I did not notice the realm being hit by smallpox. That's not great. Okay, my force limit dropped like a rock. I'm not sure entirely why. I probably should... Yeah, okay, I'm going to increase investment into no points. There, that should give me the manpower I need. I'm not sure why it dropped. It's probably the reason why area maintenance is rather high. However, taxing them is definitely recovering, which is excellent news. Because I certainly need it. Although base revenue seems to have decreased. Might that be due to... No, it's not autonomy, that's for sure. The bureaucrats will no longer be in power, which will mean that... Well, at least I'm assuming that's the case. Yeah, okay. Bureaucrats will be back to power, which will cause autonomy to go up again. Annoying, but it's something I'm going to have to deal with anyway. Probably build more light ships, more trade stuff, etc. But I've gone on for long enough. Bohemia is no longer considered a great power, which is amazing. Great shoes now at the very bottom, despite the fact that they have 8,000 dev. So perhaps they only have 3 institutions. Revolutionary spend is also a bit behind. They do have a lot of dev. 1,800 dev directly owned. No, almost 1,900. France, on the other hand, has 1,000. Well, they're first rank great power because they've got all the institutions. Hungary has all the institutions too. Yeesh. Yeah, that's gonna be fun to deal with. China is stable, however, so just likely to fall behind. But I'm seeing more in the war of the world as things. Yeah, I've gone on long enough. I have definitely gone on long enough. Yeah. I should know better. Say that and then keep going. If I said that already. I think I have. Anyway, I'll see you again next time. Until then, bye.